just tell you a really interesting story that I was reading while I was waiting for you guys.
Okay.
It's headlined. It's in the Teesside Gazette, and the headline is "Fury after Morrison's wouldn't sell couple meat pies before 9 a.m."
Right.
The meat pies were within sniffing distance, but staff told Linda and Tony Gilks at 8:45 a.m. they could not be sold for another 15 minutes. They've got photos of them.
How desperate for a pie do you have to be?
Teesside, Newcastle.
I wanted 8 large sausage rolls and 2 steak bakes, said Linda, 62, from Thorntree. It was 8:45 and there were no pies at all displayed. I could see bags and bags of pies, all wrapped up on cages behind the counter. The trolley was ready to be pushed out. But when I asked for the pies, I was told, "We can't sell the pies until 9 a.m. I could have a fruit pie, but not a meat pie." A queue of 5 other confused customers formed at the oven fresh counter in Berwick Hills Morrison's to demand their pastry fix. But staff were determined to abide by the rules, telling the customers the store had a new no meat pies before 9 a.m. policy. And it goes on and on and on and on.
It's like, Linda, you fat bitch, have some cereal.
Morrison's told the Gazette there is no hard and fast policy, and meat pies are simply baked for 9 a.m. to match customer demand. But Tony suggested a more sinister explanation. "There's more to this," he said. "Morrison's have got their own agenda. They don't want people to know about it. They've got too many ridiculous stories about why. They contradict themselves over and over. Who do they think us customers are? We're the people paying their wages." A spokesman said, "It appears that in this case we should have sold the customer their pies. We apologise for any inconvenience it might have caused."
Jesus criminy. Oh, wow.
Anyway, I thought that would just set the tone.
I'm speechless. I mean, first of all, don't like it when people say, "Oh, I'm paying your wages." Yeah, wow, okay. I mean, first of all...
That's topped off my week.
Yeah.
There's one of the guys I'm on the course with who says he likes to wind people up. So he read into chemtrails, knowing it was just a crock of absolute horseshit, just so he could wind people up. And I went, I'm surprised you've not jumped on the flat Earth bandwagon. And he was like, "I've heard a little bit of that. Could you like find me like a decent link?" So I spent half an hour of my life looking for a decent flat Earth link, and I just got angry. Genuinely got angry. I just found one and went, "Oh, here you go. I can't be doing this anymore. It's really upset me."
Is that because there were too many good fact-based flat Earth links that you didn't know which one to pick from?
No, there's too many that have got so little factual evidence involved that
If the Earth was round, we'd fall off the bottom.
The thing is, what really upsets me is flat earthers are happy to admit the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Venus, Pluto, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Just all of them, they're round. That's fine.
They rotate round us, John.
Yes, but they're all round. The Earth, no, not round. It's a circle. It's a disc.
I mean, it's just obvious. You can see.
Well, you know that I'm a big fan of Terry Pratchett's work, and where else do you think he got the idea that the planet was a disc sitting on the back of 4 elephants sitting on back a giant turtle that swims through space? I mean, it wasn't a fever dream. He had to have got the idea from somewhere.
From B.O.B. So,
just saying, might be something into this flat Earth thing.
Could well be.
If that's a would you rather question, I'm afraid you'll have to find another John.
Here's a point. If the Earth was round, John, then that trolley full of meat pies would have just rolled towards the customers and they could have helped themselves.
Yeah. What a world we live in. What a world.
Well, I'm going to take my highlighter away from my face. So I want to keep chewing on it like aggressively and upset.
Right, well, should we get this train wreck on the road then?
So, I'm the John who fell off his bike this week.
And I'm the John who's never thrown an egg sandwich at Theresa May.
And I'm not in a good mood. Welcome to Would John Rather. Let's kick this train wreck off with John. John, would you rather be rich or famous?
I'd rather be famous because people give you stuff. Like, if I'm a famous type of person, I'll get invited to the Oscars, I'll get invited to the Grammys, I can hang out with cool people, and companies give you nice things. Like, I can just stroll into the pre-show parties and nice man from Rolex or from Apple or any other like nice either technology or glamorous luxury product group will just come up to me and go, "Oh, would you mind being seen holding our product?" And I'd just say yes, so I wouldn't have to worry about buying things because people give me stuff. That's a good thing about being famous. And I can use that line. Don't you know who I am? Because everyone would know who I am because I'm famous. I couldn't matter. Think about it because I could.
At the moment, you use that line and everyone goes, "No, we don't."
Please explain.
And then I throw a brick through the window and I'd get away with it.
I'd like to make some opposing arguments because I think I'd much rather be rich than famous. I don't like being seen by anyone, let alone seen with endorsing some products that I may or may not be a fan of.
That's why you're exclusively friends with blind people.
Yes, and I only talk to my friends over podcast Skype sessions.
It's true, we don't even have the video turned on, and that is at John's bequest.
Bequest?
The bequest!
Come hither!
He bequested of us, no video, sire.
Dilly dilly.
Exactly.
He likes to be heard and not seen, I heard.
One doth think John might be the Phantom of Doth Opera.
Okay, we're done. Do continue.
Go forth, John.
And I don't want people to recognise me in the street. I want to be able to buy people's love if I want it.
I'd much rather. Well, I don't. Why am I famous? Like, do I get to choose how I become famous?
Well, I mean,
Is this part of the question, or am I going to be like just a national treasure like the Queen? I just exist and everyone adores me and knows of me. Or am I a murderer? Am I infamous?
I think that you would be able to choose why you're famous, but it can't be for any reason other than you're being famous, because it was really nice insight into you, John, that you went with a positive spin on it. I mean, I doubt that Charles Manson would be asked to endorse iPads, and he's certainly famous. So
I'm going to get famous from a podcast. That's my plan.
Well, exactly. So famous for
people will hear my voice and they'll cry in the streets and go, "Oh, it's John."
Exactly.
Not the boring one, the good one.
No, he didn't even throw a sandwich at Theresa May.
I know.
But exactly.
Just because I don't want to be famous. Imagine how famous I would have been if I'd done that.
Like the guy that threw
What
the
was
egg
the name of the
at John
guy that
Prescott.
threw the egg? Oh, yeah.
Sorry, we're on a 2-second delay here on Wood John, rather. Yeah, so exactly, John. You would be, as I said, you would be famous for no real reason, hence being famous for being on this podcast. So, okay, we'll rephrase the question. If this podcast did do anything, would you rather be famous from it or rich from it?
Rich from it still. I still don't want people to recognise me, and I think I could do a lot more with money than I could with fame. I
could buy better recording equipment.
Yeah, I could buy better recording equipment. I could pay for you guys to have flights to come and record it in a padded room.
You're thinking too small.
So money doesn't buy you happiness.
It can.
You're thinking too small there, John. I'd buy better co-hosts.
I don't know anybody else called John.
Well, when I'm really famous, there's going to be a massive uproar from the Would John Rather community if I get replaced.
They'll get over it.
People will be naming their children after me. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can make you comfortable. But nothing's more comfortable than walking in the street knowing you're never ever going to get mugged because you're famous. And because I'm that famous, people know I've got no money, but I have a really nice life because everyone knows me. It's really cool. Going to any pub and people go, buy your beer, come sit next to me. You get to hang out with loads of fun people.
So it's the popularity.
When you got, yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with that.
Interesting.
I mean, how did I? No, I was gonna no.
Do finish that thought.
I thought we were getting better at, like, coming up with things to say.
We were, and then you decided to give me the 5-second silence in the middle of the show.
This bit's getting cut, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to leave all of this silence in. That hit a brick wall. That did.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a positive reason to be rich, and
There's so many
all I can
positive
think-
reasons to be rich. There is no
Okay.
negative reason to be rich. Oh no, I can't afford my diamond encrusted quail's eggs for breakfast. You could buy every meat pie every morning at 9 o'clock on the dot in Morrison's just so Linda and Tony can't fucking have any.
yeah, that would be a good reason. I just keep thinking of negative reasons as to why I don't want to be famous. I'm just so consumed by that.
You could pay everybody to pretend that they don't know who John is.
Be like a new surprise every day.
You could buy your own island somewhere and live on it, and no one would ever bother you.
Your own Penguin Island.
Ooh, somewhere in the South Atlantic.
Yeah.
So are we going to get back on track? And, like, are you and me going to have to fight John's corner for him because he's thinking so small again?
Yeah, he does have some of the smallest ambition I've ever met in a hypothetical man.
I live in the capital city of this country. What more do I need?
It was like when
I'm
our friend from back home that used to have long hair that no longer does was like, Matt, I found my dream home, and it was in fucking Manchester. Like, dream a little.
I think the issue is that I'm much more ambitious in real life than in the hypothetical world. As soon as it becomes hypothetical, I just think about how great life already is, and I don't need this.
If you're more ambitious in real life, why are you not Prime Minister yet?
Right, it's a bad time.
Mate, you're probably going to do better than Theresa May.
Well, yeah, but it's all about timing, isn't it?
Well, and there's no elections. Maybe that's what I could. Maybe I could change the world for better. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger's the governor of California. Maybe I could be an MP for wherever. And I could put through people's requests and try and make an improvement for this country. I'm standing up and I gotta sit down. I don't need to rally. There's no one here.
Nobody likes their MP though. Nobody.
People like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Only after he did those films.
Yeah, but he was also then
Only
in
after getting famous.
politics. He was also then only in politics after doing the films. The films was a prerequisite for him being in government, John. He wasn't popular for being in politics before his films because he wasn't popular before his films.
He wasn't the senator of muscles.
Ah, he was. He got
Probably,
he got into his films from doing The Strongest Man, didn't he? So
Yeah. But he wasn't a senator beforehand, was he?
still not a senator.
Oh my god.
well, I mean, he's not.
Never has been.
Sorry.
Oh, John, what are we going to do with you? I mean, I'm
Can we just
really
stop?
confused. I don't know if you want to be famous, if you want to be a politician, if you want to be the world's strongest man, if you want to be Austrian. I don't know.
All of them.
All of the above.
I want to be an Austrian death machine. Yeah.
What the fuck is going
Oh,
on?
that took me by surprise. Oh.
I don't think this one's going anywhere.
No.
No.
Bad question.
We might even need to start the whole thing again.
Oh no, there's
We've only
definitely
wasted 23 minutes.
there's definitely things there that I can use. But
It's going to be a super cut and it's going to be massively out of context.
it's just going to be, so, would you rather be rich or famous? Austrian death machine. Nya! And then we'll move straight on to question 2.
Oh. I'm all for that.
Yeah, let's just cut the crap. Move on.
Oh,
Can we do a new
Good.
question and you use that as the intro?
Yep. That is absolutely fine. Oh, Jesus, this is gonna... You remember how I wanted to do shorter episodes so they were quicker for me to edit? Thanks, guys!
So are we having a complete do-over now?
No, we can still use the intro.
Okay.
I was just checking it was still recording. It's like my big fear.
So your laptop hasn't died of embarrassment listening to us?
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's go on, give yourselves a shake, guys. Let's try and. Okay, John, would you rather only be able to read or only be able to hear music? As in, you can't do the other one.
I definitely only prefer to read. I think that listening is overrated. I don't want to hear people speak. Some people have annoying accents.
He says, endorsing our podcast.
I want to read a transcript, a write-out of what we said on the podcast. I don't want to actually have to hear my own voice. That would be horrible.
In brackets, John doesn't believe his own words. End brackets.
Yeah, and try being the guy that has to edit this shit every week.
Oh, imagine having to type it up as well. Oh.
Well, no, I actually think I'm much better at reading and writing than I am at speaking. And, you know, our listeners can be the judge of that as well, of course. But
all two of them. All two of them tweet at us at would Jay rather, and tell us, what do you think of John's speaking?
Please don't. I can't face it. Anyway, I've had quite a lot of interviews for jobs over the years, and the thing that I always fall down on is speaking at the interviews. Always managed to get the interviews. For that part, you only have to be able to read and write, and that's one of my strong suits. And so after time, you know, you come to enjoy what you're already good at, and that's why I don't want to have to listen to anyone ever again. I just want to read.
I was almost going to jump on the reading bandwagon, because I had a chat with a bloke in a coffee shop just yesterday about not being able to read music and how much it's frustrated me not being able to read music. And I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I've just not got anywhere. And it's quite upsetting to be a musician, not actually have the capability to read music properly. So I was gonna go with that. But the more I think about it, I've led a pretty fulfilling life. I think I've said that every week so far. Not being able to read music, and it's not really affected me that much, apart from out of one very small circumstance of being frustrated I can't do something. But saying I'll never be able to be a Premiership footballer, and I've never let that stop me. Never had hang-ups about that.
Can I interject just to clarify? So I've asked, out of the choice of being able to read and not listen to music ever again, or listen to music and not be able to read ever again, I have had John answer the question, would you rather be deaf or blind? And I've had you answer the question, would you be able to rather read music or not read music? Just to clarify, are we all talking about three separate questions? Is this where we splinter off and all host our own competing shows each week?
I disagree. Because of the format of the show.
Do you know what you're disagreeing to?
I know that you said one thing, John answered another, and yet I answered a third.
And you just went off on like this bubbling remorse that you have in your own flaw that you've never been able to read music, while John and I sat there slack-jawed in silence going, what the fuck is he talking about? At least John was slightly on topic. He misinterpreted it. You just went off on your own. It's like when you see the homeless people chatting into a can, chasing it down the street, just talking to themselves. You didn't care what we were saying. You were having your own conversation.
I'm a happy homeless person talking to my own can.
But
in fact, I've got one right here. Hello, can you hear me through my can?
Yes.
What the fuck is going on, guys? Let's start again. So,
I'm talking into my can.
oh my god.
We're not having a good week, are we?
What on earth has happened? Right, we're scrapping this question. Let's move swiftly on. Less interpretation this time. Less interpretation this time. Let's actually try and answer a question.
Okay.
I started this episode saying I wasn't having a good day. So, sweet.
You might need to uncross out those questions.
Can you stop talking into your can?
Can you actually hear it? Is it actually making a difference?
Yes,
It makes a lot of difference.
hurting my ears.
Oh, sorry.
Good
Okay.
lord. Right. The DOS Johns, would you rather be a superhero or a supervillain?
I'd rather be a supervillain. Ha! Go in there first. You don't have to play by the rule book. You can do whatever you want. If you want to go to bed late, fuck it. You can do that. If you want to ruin someone's day, you can do that. And there won't be anyone thinking any less of you because you'll be living up to their expectations. And the moment, like, the Earth is in danger, you can then team up with a good team. And then people remember you, and then you can sort off and do your own thing again. And then everyone will remember you for that one good thing. You don't have to be good all the time. Just be good once, and people will let you off the hook. But, you know, I think living without rules and having superpowers would be so much more liberating. Because if you're confined to have super strength, you've got to open a door for someone and not snap the handle off. But, you know, it's being a supervillain, you just kick it down and laugh, and then steal whatever you wanted, because you could.
Well, I would obviously prefer to be a superhero, and I don't think that you have to exclusively be good to be a superhero. In that respect, you can live by your own rules. I think Batman is a pretty good example of that. He does whatever he wants whenever he wants. I mean, he's a bit rogue in that respect.
I mean, he
You're
doesn't.
saying you're going to be Batman.
Yeah, I'm going to be Batman.
I mean, he
Wow.
doesn't.
Batman.
He doesn't do whatever he wants. I mean, he never visits his parents.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
you have
Too
to live
soon.
within the
Too
confinements
soon.
you have to live within the confinements of the real world.
Oh no,
Matthew.
it's too soon since they stopped drawing them.
Anyway, I think the other thing you need to consider is in every superhero film or book or TV show that I've ever seen, the supervillains always end up losing, and I don't like losing.
Have you not seen
like-
Despicable Me?
No.
I have 45 times because I have a small child.
It is a fantastic film.
This is a very good film. And if I'm a supervillain, I get minions. How cool is that?
This is true.
People would hate me because I stole diamonds, but then they'd let me off because I had 2 foot tall yellow bumbling idiots following me around.
I mean, in my superhero film, I don't let off the villains. They pay bad. And that's because I'm a very effective superhero.
Like financially, or with their lives, or
They'll never get a loan ever again.
Delete as applicable.
okay.
People can only get the worst rate on credit cards from now on. 20%.
Yeah, I am credit man.
But it wouldn't affect me at all because I'd just go around stealing whatever I wanted. The crown jewels, definitely.
Why does
They'd be on the
everybody always want the crown jewels? Let's be honest, it's a hat and a bat, isn't it? Really, it's a hat.
That's a question for another day, isn't it?
It's a hat and a bat. Why are people so insistent? Oh, I'm going to steal the crown jewels. What does it do? It's not efficient. Go steal a ShamWow. Steal something that's actually useful.
I think in fact it's because it's iconic. It's you're going to one of the most high-profile places in the UK to steal what is very valuable, and only the monarchy are really allowed to be near it. So it's like an infiltration. Have you ever been burgled? I've not been burgled,
I
but
have.
from what I've been told is you're left feeling really insecure. You're not sure if you can trust the 4 walls that you thought made you untouchable in your own little castle.
Oh no, I was insecure way before I was burgled.
We're not talking
You know-
sexually, Matthew.
You know what would make you feel secure? If you could fire webbing out of your wrists.
Yes, this is true.
And you can also secure a good supply of food. You can spray your web and, like a spider does, secure it from the ceiling to eat later.
I feel like John's just Googled superheroes and clicked on the Spider-Man link that came up because he wasn't quite sure what we were talking about. Standing there, staring at his computer screen going, Thor's not a superhero, he's a Greek god in Norse mythology. A Greek god in Norse mythology?
In Norse mythology?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Multicultural Thor.
That's just how little he understands what we're talking about.
He's the god of thunder and kebabs. He's mistress of his brother, Stavros Loki.
Stavros Loki.
Is a well-known trickster and Turkish barber.
Wow.
Well, look, guys, I've used up my 2 superheroes that I can reference.
What was the other one other than Spider-Man?
Batman.
Oh, yes. Can you only name superheroes that are named after some form of
insect or other animal?
Yeah. You haven't done Catwoman? Or are you a sexist superhero advocate?
No, I'd happily be Catwoman.
And here was me
I
thinking,
thought she was, but isn't she a bit of a villain?
yeah, she ebbs and flows, which is simply why I believe in the gender pay gap between superheroes.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be an efficient crime-fighting machine like Batman, then you're going to get the higher wages, aren't you? If you're going to.
Also helps if you're a billionaire and you own your own company.
Yep, there's that. So,
but by the way, John, Batman, his real person is Bruce Wayne. He happens to be a billionaire, and that's how he funds his gadgets. Just to fill you in, because you got the name. You got the name right so far.
And that's why I would prefer to be rich.
Oh God!
Oh my
Lord! Not this again.
It's made full circle.
Well, if you prefer to be rich, I prefer to be infamous. We all know that the Joker is probably the best of all the comic book and supervillains out there, because no matter how many times Batman puts him away, he manages to escape. He's caused more crimes than Batman has been able to stop.
I'm genuinely crying right now. This is going to be so difficult to edit together to make any semblance of fucking sense, you absolute reprobates. Oh.
I asked for a do-over and you said no. I will just keep going.
Right, let's carry on.
If you put coal under pressure, it makes diamonds, Matt.
Like diamonds in the sky.
We've got about 9 different intros now, and no actual good questions and comments.
No, I mean, Jafar and Aladdin, I always found Jafar not very appealing.
They're not superheroes. I guess their super villain is Jafar, but Aladdin's not a superhero.
He was an evil sorcerer.
Do you not think that Aladdin's a superhero?
No.
He's got a flying carpet.
He's
a street rat.
He's a street rat from
That's
Africa.
the opposite. Well, I mean, I guess it depends how you define a superhero. I think people can be superheroes in their own way, and Aladdin is definitely a superhero in my eyes. More so than.
You need to go to the optician.
Optician.
Yeah, in your eyes, they are broken.
Well, I'm standing by it. I would rather be a superhero who had the ethics and the work ethic and values of Aladdin than be Jafar.
Jafar is a sorcerer. He is not a supervillain.
He is. He's evil and he's a villain.
He's not super, really, is he?
Yeah, he is. He was when he got hold of that lamp.
I mean,
it was Aladdin.
To be fair, Doctor Strange is classed as a superhero, and he's a sorcerer.
Yeah, so Jafar is a supervillain and Aladdin is a superhero.
No, I never said Aladdin was a superhero.
Why not?
No.
I mean, I think he is.
What's about him?
If
He asked the
Batman
genie
is
to sort out his problems.
if Batman is a superhero, then so is Aladdin.
Yeah, but Aladdin's poor. Batman's rich.
Aladdin doesn't fight crime.
Don't be so discriminatory. This is because
Aladdin was just after the pussy. That's all he was concerned about, wasn't it?
this is because he's from the Middle East, isn't it? This is Islamic phobic.
No, he was self-serving. He wanted to save the princess so he could get some.
Well,
That is not chivalrous.
well, it's awesome,
I think being a sorcerer would be more awesome.
but he gets defeated and trapped in a lamp forever. Superheroes always win, John, and then they get trapped in lamps for decades.
Yes, every single Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Iron Man, all those films end in lamps.
Actually, they all end in man.
That is true.
Well, welcome to
Aquaman.
welcome to episode 3, where I ask a question and then the two Johns talk about whatever the fuck they want. Ah.
Can we ask you your question now?
Can I try one more question just to try and get something that we can use without chopping and pasting it together?
I'll try and stay on topic.
Oh, he's back. Can boy is back. I don't even know why I'm attempting, but John, would you rather be Russian or Mexican?
I would definitely rather be Russian. I think the ability to run around the world
Poisoning people.
using chemical weapons whenever you feel like it and just kind of getting away with it. That's the kind of attitude that has got them as far as they have today. You have a lot to be proud of as a Russian. You've got a giant country that you defended against the world's most evil army of all time. You successfully fought that off. You have lots of natural resources that you can exploit.
Like potatoes.
And oil. And potatoes and vodka. And ultimately, if anybody challenges you to anything, you can just go, yeah, come over here and say that. Come over to Siberia, see how long you last. Huh? Niet.
See, I think I've been dealt the good hand. I would well prefer to be Mexican. You live on the equator, you get a nice warm country. Like, the staple of Mexican food is cheese, beans, meat, tortillas, nachos.
Tequila!
I'd be in heaven. Tequila, I'd be in absolute heaven if I came home and every night I had like burritos or tacos or chimichangas, quesadillas, just all that sort of stuff on the table ready waiting for me. It'd be amazing. And then I could sit back in my chair, you know, it's probably been thrown out by some American. I've picked it up from one of my trips near the border, because we all know Mexicans just wander over to the rest of the states when they need a job. And I could sit on my lazy boy recliner and I could watch Mexican wrestling and see El Chupacabra suplex someone through a table. It'd be brilliant. And then got the Cinco de Mayo. Is that the Day of the Dead? The 5th of May? You could pay respects to your dead, and there's music, fireworks, there's all sorts of good stuff.
Cinco de Mayo is the day when they remember the day that a ship was sank off of the coast, bringing in their annual supply of mayonnaise.
Wow.
No, that's Cinco de Mayo.
Anyway.
Matt's shaking his head. I can feel it down the mic.
I am. But also, the Day of the Dead is on Friday the 2nd of November, so you were both wrong.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I did know what Cinco de Mayo was, and I can't remember, so we'll go with the mayonnaise thing.
It's a true fact. It's a true fact.
It's like the Boston Tea Party, but not.
Mayonnaise is
banging your
nicer
head.
than tea, anyway. So, anyway.
I'd like to see you drink a cup of mayonnaise.
I'd like to see you
Come
drink
to
a
your
cup
house.
of mayonnaise.
And gargle it.
Matt, would you rather drink a cup of tea or mayonnaise?
Cup of tea. Now, If you change that to drink a cup of tea or drink a cup of garlic mayonnaise, then you've got yourself a party.
Oh, okay.
In terms of food, you were talking about your beans and stuff. Well, we've got goulash. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
That's Hungary or something. But over time, Russia has occupied Hungary and most of Eastern Europe.
It's never occupied Mexico.
Never occupied Mexico.
No, that's true.
And let's face it, you're having to give all those countries back. Yes, you've taken, like, Crimea, but that's a power play, but I don't really think it's going to lead to much.
There is definitely a correlation between time moving forwards and Russia getting smaller. That is true.
And Mexico's still the same size it's always been. Have you got a Gulf? Is there like a Gulf of Russia? Because there's definitely a Gulf of Mexico. You can go sailing off the coast there and see whales.
You can play golf in Russia.
Golf, GULF. Come on.
There's all sorts of things there's the Sea of Okhotsk, the Bering Sea, the East Siberian Sea, the Laptev Sea, the Kara Sea, Barents Sea. Russia is just so...
Sea.
Russia is just
everyone wants to go to for a beach holiday.
Russia is just so massive that it's. I think that's when pirates used to sing about the seven seas. They were just talking about a trip around Russia, and
it's so vast and large, and there's just massive expanses of wasteland in the middle of it.
Yeah, plenty of space to develop. There's those hotels that I've been meaning to build. So as a Russian, I've got lots of space to build them. And Russia has a much more advanced space program than Mexico as well. How many Mexican astronauts can you name? Quite exactly.
I would argue.
How many cosmonauts can you name, John?
Don't insult me.
How many famous cosmonauts can you name?
Well, they're all got terribly long names.
You could have said Yuri and I'd have been happy with that, but no, you couldn't even remember a Russian name.
I would argue that if you're comparing Mexico and Russia, there are definitely more seas in Mexico.
Why are we back to sea jokes? That was last week.
It was?
Yes. Little Mermaid.
That's because that's because we're sponsored by the letter C, like the Sesame Street.
Guys, I figured out how to win the argument. Piñataco is in Mexico.
Piñataco also owns Russia.
There we go. It's fine. So I could just travel there on a work visa, laugh at your country, spit on your ground, and get on my biz jet back to Mexico. Sell some more piñatas.
This is what I made this point earlier that you don't just come to Russia and spit on the ground because you won't make it.
The ground spits on you.
in Soviet, yes. You won't make it. You won't. Russia killed off Napoleon. It killed off Hitler. It's killed two of the world's worst dictators. And it's also spawned some of the world's worst dictators.
You win some, you lose some.
How many people did Stalin save or starve to death? What's the ratio on that?
Well, I don't know.
The fact we're talking that it's got a ratio, it's pretty bad.
It is. It's not great, but it's countless, really. If Hitler had successfully defeated Britain and Russia and won the Second World War, then who knows how many countless more people would have been killed in concentration camps if it wasn't for Uncle Joe Stalin and... This is what would you rather questions lead you to doing, is defending Joe Stalin.
Sweet.
How are you calling him Joe Stalin? That's what's tickled me.
Yeah, not only are you on first name basis, but you you actually know him by his nickname.
Well, that's how much more I'd rather be Russian.
That's dedication, John. Can you show me that much dedication?
I don't know if I can. I would much prefer to be Mexican. I think the climate would be nicer. I think the laid back attitude would be nicer. I think the daytime TV would be better. Watching reruns of those crazy Mexican shows that you
I am
get
watching
depicted on
my
American
stories.
Right, okay. Well, I mean, there's two things that I want to explore. I mean, first of all,
is a quality of life one.
I mean, oh no, I mean in my answer to how I think I'm going to call this question. I mean, the first thing I want to explore is I would definitely much rather live in Mexico. The climate's nicer, the culture and everything just seems better.
Can I counter? Because you didn't actually say that you needed to live in that country. You just said...
would you rather be? And it would be insinuated that if you are of that culture, of that nationality, you'd probably live there. But, my own personal feelings aside, if John's willing to endorse Joseph Stalin as a defence for wanting to be Russian, I'm scared what he'll do if I don't award him the win. So, John, I think we bow out gracefully and I'm going
to take a siesta.
Just keep an eye on him. We'll just keep an eye on him.
It's one in the bank.
I don't know who won the last two.
I mean,
I don't think there were no winners last 2 rounds.
The biggest argument I think that you have between Russia and Mexico is piñatas versus Russian dolls, because they're very similar, but that's a question for a different time.
I hope it is.
I'm just making a note of that. Piñata versus Russian dolphins. I believe you have a question for me, and let's see if this goes any better, I'm praying to God, than the rest of the questions we've done today.
I've got a question for you. This is a viewer request. Well, sorry, a listener request, if you'd have it. Would you prefer to live in a world where A, there was an alien invasion, or B, there was an artificial intelligent robot uprising?
First of all, I feel like a lot of these questions involve aliens. That's 2 out of 3. Normally I go with my instinct on this, but I'm going to go with alien invasion. I'm going to go with alien invasion because it's less likely that they're going to be hostile towards us, because just because they're alien doesn't mean that they're hostile. They may just be invading and we may be able to communicate. Robots, they've seen the internet, they know what we're capable of, they wouldn't hesitate to wipe us out. And also, we're going to learn less from the robots because we've built them. We could possibly learn a lot more from the aliens about space travel. So I'm going to go with aliens, because would they be down like Earth Go Hard, or would we just be another conquest? I don't know.
You're hedging your bets on the best outcome is we end up being a zoo.
No, we could work together with them. But yeah, zoo.
We'd never be equals. They treat us like Mexicans.
And do you... Wow. Do you really think that robots would do any differently? As I said, like, if we've created them and then they've slowly evolved over time to be, artificial intelligence. I mean, I don't like people, and I'm a person. I'm going to take my risk with the species that knows nothing about us than I am something that knows everything about our existence. Because let's be honest, as a race, we're scum. So, aliens.
I think your logic is sound.
Thank you.
So you wouldn't prefer your great-grandchildren to be batteries powering the Matrix?
Exactly. I'd rather them have to donate 20% of whatever they farm to Dvorg the Third, their supreme overlord of the galaxy, rather than them just never having existed in the first place. Because let's be honest, if I was an artificial intelligence, I'd wipe this planet clean out.
I mean, it's not all that different to now anyway. I mean, you have to give 20% of your salary in income tax and another 20% of it in VAT. So
what we're saying,
why
not
give it to Vlog?
Exactly. It's just a different oppressive state. That's all.
Wow, this is cheery. Well, wow, you're going to spend all your life slaving away working for the man. Why don't the man be a silicon-based life form from Battlestar Galactica or something rather than Theresa May?
Well, exactly. And at least, worst case scenario, very worst case scenario with the aliens, they do kill us all, but the robots are going to do that anyway. That's a given. Maybe they take us away and we get to experience a bit of space travel, see another planet before we die. That'd be nice.
See if there's flat or not.
Exactly. They could... worst case scenario, let's say that these aliens are super intelligent, that we can't understand and comprehend them, and to them we're just like domesticated cats and dogs. Cats and dogs got a pretty good fucking life. If I could come to one of your houses, sleep on a nice comfortable bed on the floor, get fed 3 meals a day, get taken out for trips, people come over, make a fuss of me, I can jizz on anything I want and nobody really cares. Like, that sounds like a pretty good life.
Maybe...
I think you first.
I was going to say that maybe that's how dogs feel. That maybe they're making their own dog casts about would you rather questions, and
you're talking about robot dogs.
Robot dogs.
Exactly. Robot dogs are humans. They pick humans.
Do you want to know a fun fact that I reckon that would end the show on a good note?
Okay. Because Lord knows we haven't had a single item of good on this show so far.
It's been pretty awful. They did a study on elephants, and they mapped their brainwaves, and they've actually linked the way an elephant perceives us to the way that we perceive dogs. They're happy to see them. They're happy to see us.
I saw that.
Isn't that a really nice thought? They're bigger than us. They could crush us. They could do away with us if they weren't bothered by us. But they're happy to see us.
They think we're cute.
Nice? Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
I think nice. I sleep better at night knowing that.
Whereas cats don't notice that we're a separate species. They just think we're big, stupid cats, which is why they do things like lick us to clean us and bring us dead birds because they're teaching us to hunt.
They think we're invalids and can't hunt for ourselves.
Exactly.
Which is true.
I mean, when was the last time you caught a bird, John?
Yeah, John.
Last time I caught a bird? I can't remember the last time I did catch a bird. I caught a hedgehog a few months ago.
Not known for being the swiftest of animals, the hedgehog.
No, but it's got spines and I caught it with my bare hands because I'm hard.
It's probably why the cats think we're stupid.
Because we're going around grabbing spiky shit with our bare hands.
They are right to bring us half-dead shrews. But it does explain why they sit on the top of a bookcase, look you square in the eye and just like swat a vase and smash it straight on the floor and like, yeah, and walk off.
Because they care not for our earthly possessions.
Cats don't need flower vases.
Okay, I think we've gone off topic now.
Oh, I don't think we actually stayed on topic for more than about 4 seconds in the past hour.
So you stayed on topic. Well done, Matt. Congratulations.
I tried my best, and I felt if I tried too hard, either way you weren't going to listen. And as I said, I'm not in the best of moods, and I was worried what I might say.
There's going to be some choice words in the group chat after this.
No, it's fine. I'll make it work somehow. It's all... These things are sent to test us, aren't they? And by these things, I mean you two pillocks.
We were sent to test you.
You were sent to test us. Right, well, as always, tweet at us at WouldJRather, #WouldJRather with your own questions, and maybe we'll answer them next week. So that's goodbye from a heavily distraught Matthew, who's going to go and cry in the shower.
It's a goodbye from a very, very guilty but not guilty John.
And I've been John.
See you later, folks. Would you rather be rich or famous?
Yeah.
Done nothing, eat something. We want some money to it.